Hello and welcome to this reading. Welcome to the MVL channel. I'm trying something new with my microphone, so I hope that this improves the sound quality, and I hope that the camera isn't skew-if. I'm coming through with a very specific message today, rather than simply a weekly reading. This is very specific for a particular group of people, but if you are listening to this and think, oh no, this doesn't resonate with me, what he's describing doesn't resonate with me, listen to the advice that comes with it, whatever Spirit's offering you to consider. Because even if you don't think you resonate, there might be something in the the things that Spirit is trying to instill in you or get you to consider that might help your situation anyway. So, I'm going to just come out and say it. You had to experience the opposite of you in order to find yourself, in order to actually realize who and what you actually are. And this set of circumstances has played out in your life like a cycle, like a pattern, over and over again. And it's like, but I thought I learnt that lesson, when I was 10. I thought I learnt that lesson again when I was 15. I thought I learnt that lesson when I was 21. I thought I learnt that lesson when I was 25 and 35 and 45. Why is this still playing out, that whenever I open my heart or whenever I do a certain thing or try to achieve something in my life, or whether it's relationships or career or both or whatever it is, whenever I open myself up to the possibilities with someone or with a situation, it can be whatever your situation is, it always seems to end up like this. Or it could just be arguments that you have with people, where you've been in discord with people at certain points in your life, and it feels almost like it's the same challenge. It's like at the age that you're at now, the challenge, like if you've just been through it, several months ago or recently, it's like, why does it feel like the same kind of argument that I've had with this person in the past, or these people back then? Or why does this feel like the same challenge? What am I doing wrong? Why haven't I learnt the lesson of whatever role I'm playing in this in order to get past this? Why is this a repeating thing for me? And it's because you have had to repeatedly experience the opposite of you in order to realize who and what you are. Now you can say, and I believe I'm speaking to, highly spiritually functional people. I don't know why those particular words came out, but people who are able to function in life with their spirituality, and you have not a great sense of self, you have a great self-awareness and a great awareness of everything around you. But this whatever this cycle repeating pattern has been, always seems to undermine you. It undermines your belief in yourself, or it undermines your spirituality, or it undermines your intuition, or it's like I'm trying to do the right thing here, and then I get sideswiped by a particular energy of person, or someone's actions pulls a rug from under my feet, so I just can't, just when I feel like I'm doing everything I have to do in order to get forward in this, whatever it is I'm trying to achieve, I get the rug pulled from under my feet. I get is it side blinded or side swiped, or someone comes straight at me from the front and just becomes an obstacle, or just won't work with me anymore, or whatever it is. Why does this keep happening when I have such a strong sense of who I am already? those people, I will say environments, situations, da da da, but those, I'll just keep it simple. Those people that keep bringing you that lesson, whether it's the same person that you keep forgiving, or you let go of that person, and then others come along the years who carry the same energy and flavour, and you fall for it every time until the mask falls off, and then you see what they're really like or what their true intention is, right? There may be some ways in which I describe this that might not be specifically pertinent to you, but just go with the flow here. You are a bearer of light. You are a container, a vessel that keeps accepting and bringing in the higher frequency from the divine. So the work you keep doing on yourself over time, every time you go through pain or a hiccup or whatever it is, a challenge in your life, you realize that everything is spiritual. It may be to do with money, it may be to do with material things, it may be to do with relationships, and you kind of in your mind separate that from your spiritual journey. Your spiritual journey is your life. So you can see why this is very specific for very specific people. Every time you go through a challenge that causes you difficulty, emotional or mental torment or pain, you keep doing the right thing and in Spirit's view, in God's view. So you come at everything with the right intent, and then when things go wrong, you do the right thing for yourself, in that you don't run from your pain, you don't look for distraction, you sit with yourself and you work through your emotions, and you sometimes to your detriment will sit and be willing to absolutely take responsibility. You're happy to be held accountable if it's fair and right and true, for whatever your role is in for the situation panning out the way that it did. So because you come at it at those moments in your life that, you know, could potentially break you or make you shoot off in a completely different direction and run from yourself, run from everything you've tried to achieve and believe is true and good, you are processing things the right way, even if it doesn't feel that way at the time, and you are actually facing your stuff, basically. And you I don't know if this is the right word, you ruminate on things for so long, you revisit things in your mind and try to understand it from several different viewpoints to see whether you're looking at it the wrong way, whether you caused this or whatever, because your intent is to understand it. Your intent is to learn from something that hasn't had a good outcome so that you don't repeat it. But what I'm talking about is when these lessons, it's like it's the same lesson coming up from the same person or from several people or from new people over the course of time in your life, where it's like, why? Why am I learning this again? Why am I? I'll say the reason that you're learning it again is because each step of the way as we progress up our spiritual ladder, up the spiritual stairs or whatever, you know, each time we learn lessons, we elevate ourselves, right? Each time, as well as just as a side note, we go through emotional, mental pain and we process it in the correct way. And I'm not talking about, you know, you have to do these things to process it. No, I'm talking about your intent and what you do when you're in emotional torment or mental torment or emotional pain, the way you don't run from it, the way that you sit with it, the way that you try to understand it, the way that you forgive yourself and the other person internally, the way that you process and do your emotional bookkeeping, your shadow work, whatever the right words are for you, that elevates you, okay? And when when you get that elevation, the old you breaks down and breaks away, and it leaves the vessel clear to accept yet a higher frequency yet again than what you were carrying before. Okay? So then in that higher frequency or that new lens from which you perceive life or however you want to look at it, but this new version of you, there's been many new versions of you, this new version of you gets to revisit the old patterns of the past so that you can look at it through today's eyes, so that you can understand it more fully, and it gives you opportunity to handle the situation differently, to prove to yourself and to the divine that you have well and truly passed the test and that you'll handle this situation differently than what you did, 5 times ago. Yeah? So it comes to us, it keeps returning because it comes to us in layers over time, like waves, right? This person's ready now to be tested on this lesson again. We're going to put it in a different form so that it looks different and feels different initially. But then when they start seeing the signs or feeling the energy of this situation, they're going to realize that it's the same lesson, the same energy of that lesson or person past. So then you get put back in a situation and you walk into it willingly because it looks and feels great at the time. That's by design. Okay? And then when you find yourself in it and you start to, there's obstacles here, there's difficulty here, I don't feel right in my gut, I'm having digestive issues, or I don't feel safe, or I don't feel at peace, and all that kind of stuff starts to come up again. And if you stay, it gets worse and worse and worse until it becomes these people or these situations. It gets to a point where you absolutely can no longer ignore or overlook the signs that they do not have your best interest at heart. For example, if you just keep being tolerant and patient and toiling, working at it to balance it out and heal it within the space of time that that you're engaging, it gets to a point where they do something that cannot be overlooked, that you cannot ignore. And then you get put in a place where you have to reassess and work out the juice ain't worth the squeeze here. Like, this isn't working. And then finally you set aside your burdens and you move away from the situation. Okay? Or if you continue to ignore it, you get ejected from the situation, as in you get fired from a job, or someone walks away from your relationship, or a friend, ends a friendship, or whatever it is. So if you don't do it, it happens to you, but it happens for you, right? So that's why it keeps happening. But the reason, the lesson, the whole point of the lesson is that they want you to know today is that you had to experience the opposite of you in order to see who and what you are. So those people, I'm going to say it in terms of people, right? But it could be situations or environments or whatever. Or those people live in chaos within themselves. And you can't possibly imagine what that feels like because you have this innate sense of peace in your soul and in your gut. You might say, but I'm very anxious. You're very anxious because you're hypersensitive and you are affected by energies around you. Yes. But when left to your own devices, when left on your own, you very quickly, your compass, or I'm seeing a dial, your dial comes back to neutral. Your dial comes back to balance. Your dial comes back to peace and harmony within yourself when you have no external influences. It's when you go to engage with certain, they're saying entities or certain individuals, that then you're taking on whatever they've got going on within them. You're taking on whatever influence they bring to the table. And they want you to understand that those people that you've tried so hard to understand, so hard to find peace with, so hard to try to build solid foundations with, they live in internal chaos. They are never at peace. Sometimes they fool themselves that they're happy with their lives or that they are at peace. And that's when things seem to be going their way. But it's very ego-based. And this is the thing about those people, is they are very egocentric people. The ego's not a bad thing. It's there for a purpose. But people who live in it and are completely saturated by that and haven't learned other ways to be, to exist, to move forward, they only can be in environments that feed the ego. They need that sense of validation or sense of control and power. Yeah. So whomever engages with these people ain't gonna find a peaceful situation with them, not for long. They are not going to be able to build a solid foundation with them that lasts, because these people are chaotic. They're not at peace. And so Spirit keeps giving us the opportunity to engage with such energies and entities so that we can learn more about who we are. Okay? Whoever I'm talking to, you are someone who carries peace in your heart, love in your heart for humanity, animals, plants, whatever it could be, in some way you are in work, or if it's not your work, it's your intent in life is to be of service. You add something to the world. Well, someone might say, oh, I work in IT, but that still facilitates a service to humanity. You are people whose intent is to bring to bring good, not harm. Okay, you're self-sacrificing, and these are all lessons that you've kind of had to learn along the way. And I'll tell you, it never ends, because you'll get that lesson again down the track, and it's how you respond to it. So life's challenges are never about stuff that's happening to us. It's about, let's see how they respond today. This person that they are today, this frequency that they're vibrating at today, how are they today going to respond to these lessons of self-love, of abandonment, of whatever it is, whatever your lessons are. And they kept saying, Spirit kept saying to me, why? So we ask, when things go wrong, we ask, this question keeps going through our minds. Why has this happened? Why has this happened again? Or why has this happened? Or why have I met this person or these people? Why has this situation just looked so, now that I'm out the other end, I've been sped out the other end of it, of this experience, or I've had to walk away from it or let go of it. Why now can I see that it looks and feels so much like these experiences I've had in the past? Why did this person behave this way after all that I did? Could they not see my intention? Whatever the story is. And it's why? Because you want to understand it, because you can't, it's like some of you cannot begin to understand the misery that some people live in, because you're so connected to the divine, whether you're aware of it or not. You might just think you're just a positive person. And why I'm laughing at that, and Spirit laughs at that, is because you might think you're a positive person. That's actually part of the ego. If you let go of positivity and negativity for a minute, you can only be, if it's based in ego, you can only be positive and responding positively to a situation or to a situation up to a certain point. When things get really dark and dirty and painful for you, that breaks that shell open, and then who are you? And what we're saying is that when push comes to shove and you're knocked down on your ass or feel like you've been face slammed into the mud, or feel like you're being emotionally torn apart, whatever it feels like, it's how you're responding at that level of pain that would break most people. And Spirit is recognizing that you do well in those situations. That is who I'm talking to. You might not feel you do well, but you actually do, because you don't realize those circumstances would break other people or send them on a trajectory of self-destruction. Okay? So the why, the question to why is this person behaving like this? Why has this situation turned out like this? Why? When I've tried to bring nothing but good to it, why? It's so that you can actually see their chaos. You can actually see the chaos within them when they lose their heads at you. I'm trying not to swear. When they lose their heads at you. And that's a moment where the mask falls, like they're not playing nice guy anymore. They've got their boxing gloves on, or they've got an axe and a chainsaw in each hand, and they're coming at you. That's the moment that you can see their chaos, their internal chaos. That's the moment where you can see that they do not have your best interests at heart. They do not share the same intent as you, and so they are not going to bring the same effort and care to the situation. And that's why nothing can ever be truly built with them when someone's operating on that level. Okay? When you recognize through the processing of your pain that they carry a chaotic energy, energy or entity with them that requires constant feeding, constant affection or constant attention, constantly needs to be validated, constantly needs to feel accepted, and constantly needs to feel they have the upper hand. They will say that they want equality, but that they actually want the upper hand in however they perceive that to be. It's their perception, it's not reality. So you get to recognize that in them, and then when time passes and you do your healing, you're able to see it not through the lens of pain anymore and confusion. You're able to see it through more clearly. And this is what Spirit's saying, you're either there now or it's coming very soon. It's like you feel like crap and then suddenly you don't. You feel like crap and then suddenly you don't. And can I say to you that what often shifts that is when spirit observes that we, no matter how crap we might feel or low we might feel or whatever it is, it might just be tiredness that you experience. Whenever we do these random acts of kindness to ourselves, it might be a gentle walk through the garden, whatever brings you peace. It becomes a clarifying moment. Now, if the clarity doesn't come to us while we're doing it, it comes to us after we've done a few things of kindness towards ourselves. And it's genuine. It's not about, oh, I want clarity on this, so I'm going to go be kind to myself. No, be kind to yourself because you need to be kind to yourself, yeah? Because you need inner peace. And that then unlocks unexpectedly the side effect of that, if not the direct effect, the side effect of that is it unlocks things for you that you can't even feel, the machinations within you. And then suddenly it's like, oh, suddenly I have clarity, or suddenly I have peace. That in those moments of clarity, we're able to see the difference between us and them. And it's not about us sitting in judgment of them. It is about us recognizing, yes, in actual fact, I would never have done that to that person. What they did to me, I would never do to them or anybody else ever. And so I was thrown into confusion because I don't understand how someone can behave that way. Yeah? But, so it's not through judgment. It's through us understanding the energy that they carry. It's the energy or the entity, because that keeps coming up, right? I'll leave that with you to do research on if you don't understand what I'm talking about. To understand the nature of the energy that these individuals carry, or this situation carries, or this environment carries, set of circumstances, whatever it is that's been recurring, we need to understand they're not in peace. It's impossible for them to bring anything good long term. They can't sustain it. So it can look like in relationships like love bombing. I am the solution to all your problems. Let me throw money at you. Let me give you all the affection you've never received. Let me take you out wining and dining because you can't afford it. Let me do all this to you because to show you that I love you, I have good intention towards you. I am the solution. I'm the antidote, yeah, to everything that's been wrong in your life. That is love bombing to the max. Now, it doesn't mean that when someone treats you that way that they're definitely not coming from a good place. I'm not trying to get you to look over your shoulder all the time whenever something good happens to you, whenever someone's nice to you. But I'm saying that's what it can look like at the beginning, but these people are unable to sustain. It's like going into a business deal and there's all these promises made at the beginning, or all the signs are pointing to a prosperous outcome, but it actually never materializes. So you enter into the agreement, and then you're in business with these people, or you're doing whatever the business agreement is, but the fruit never comes. The longer you're in it, the harder it's getting, until you get to a point where why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I continuing to try to find solutions within this business investment or business interaction when all I keep getting, the further down the track we go, is more complication, more difficulties coming from the people I'm having to deal with. Why is this getting harder and more complex? And I'm still not getting it. It's been 2 years, or it's been 12 months or whatever, or 8 months, and I'm not getting, or it's been 8 years, and I'm not getting the fruit for this. But all of my resources, all of my mental energy is going into this business deal, and it's just not delivering what it said. So if you look back at the original contract, or all of the enticing things that were shown to you and said to you at the beginning to get you to get into this business deal, if you look at that and compare it to what it's actually bringing to your life or to your career, they couldn't be more in two different ends of the pendulum swing, right? Same with relationships. I'm deliberately doing this to show you. I might talk in terms of relationships, but sometimes it's business deals. Sometimes it's other aspects of our lives. But the energy, the story is the same. And so you go, this is crazy. I'm engaged with craziness. I'm engaged with chaos. I'm not going to ever be able to gain fruit from this. It's not a collaborative, peaceful collaboration. It's chaos. So I'll disengage. Now, if you choose, the choice is yours, always free will. If you choose to keep hammering in, no, I just need to prove myself more. I just need to work harder at it. I just need to keep finding the solutions. I'll get on top of this and I'll fix this situation. I just need to, put in more. Eventually it'll go bankrupt, or people will leave it, or you'll get sacked, or some other circumstance in your life that seems to be unrelated stops you from going further with that, and it has to end. Whether it could be ill health, it could be someone else, some other aspect of your life that needs attention, that stops you from being able to keep putting into this never-ending opposite of peace, opposite of fruitful. Okay? So, I mean, that was all quite dramatic, but Spirit's obviously using me to just provide some understanding here through the examples. So the whole point of the exercise is for you to eventually see that you are different to them. It's opposites. You're dealing with the opposite force, so that you can recognize self. It's not about judgment or conquering, or, there's been times where you want to smack them down, but you actually would never do that. You're very quickly, your mind takes you on a different path and a different way to look at things, because that's who you are. That's who you are. And that's why you keep getting blessings in life. But the things that you enter into that might look enticing at the beginning, that turn out bad, they are reminders of who you are. And so I've talked about discernment many times in my videos. And so in your ability to see someone's different or situations different to you, so different intent, different everything, different state of mind, different frequency, you are able to in future get better at being discerning and saying, oh yeah, no, that looks great from the onset of it, looks great, feels great, smells great, but I'm going to watch out for the signs. And when you start seeing them, you can start raising question. It's not about, oh, this looks like the pain I experienced in the past, I'm running. It's not about being reactive. It's about observing and remaining at peace with yourself, and then using your discernment over time, not being afraid to question things, not overlooking things, not feeling like you have to keep turning the other cheek and eventually that person will wake up to themselves and get better. It's not about any of that stuff. It's not about tolerating or accommodating bad behavior or bad investments. It is about you looking for transparency and honesty, and being brave enough to question things as they're occurring, and don't just keep overlooking the signs or the feeling that something's not right here. And then you'll get better at saying, oh, I need to just step back from this situation because I'm not liking, the exchange that's occurring, or I'm not liking the results of the interaction, put it that way. So it's all designed, Spirit wants you to understand that it's all designed to at different points in your life, remind you and give you further opportunity to remember who and what you are. and to actually celebrate that, because you've been so humble in your life and you've been so asleep to the fact that you are not normal. You are not the average person. And I'm not saying this in judgment, but the trials and tribulations, the challenges that have been put before you, and then that you keep passing because of who and what your soul is. It's not about your mind. These are not mental decisions that you make. These are just things that behaviors that you have to do. It's the approach that you take is coming from a place of deep, very old wisdom. And what they're saying is that you don't ever celebrate it. You don't ever go, oh gee, I got through that in the most peaceful way that I could. It caused me a lot of torment and pain, but I was able to just surrender to it and let it unfold and be kind to myself. And things just unfolded, so you don't ever celebrate at the end. It's still this mental thing of, why did that happen? That was gross. Like, why did I allow that to happen? What do I need to learn? You get the whip out on yourself, get a stick and start whacking yourself. Like, that's, they're reminding you, keep coming from a place of self-love, because that will feed your internal confidence. It's not enough to have all of this amazing self-awareness if we then don't believe in ourselves, if we then don't if we don't share the kindness that we willy-nilly, that we so readily offer out into the world, if we don't share that same kindness to ourselves, what are we actually achieving? It's like I've got a bucket of water in a desert and I'm just throwing it out there, hoping something will grow or it will save someone or whatever. And I'm not drinking it myself. I'm going to drop dead, right? Or I've got a bucket of money and I'm like, I'll give. I can see people in need. I'll give and I'll give and I'll give. And we're not talking about unlimited resources or any of this stuff. I'm just talking about, this is the bucket of money that I have. This is how much money I have. It is finite. You can say, oh, but the universe will keep providing because we're doing something good. That happens, that is a thing, absolutely. All the time it happens, yes. But in this example, I'm talking about a finite amount of money, a finite amount of water, a finite amount of energy, and you just keep trying to do good and throwing it out there, but you're not actually using it to replenish yourself or to look after yourself. The kindness and care is only going one way, and that's outwards. Right? So you're trying to nourish everything outside of you, and you end up being a wrinkled prune. Okay? And some of our souls are very, very thirsty, very, very undernourished. And it's not because of how we've been treated in life. You can point at 15 million different things to prove that what I just said is wrong. It is because of how we've been treated in life, sure. But how have we been treating ourselves? What have we been paying attention to, placing focus on outside of ourselves, and ignoring our own needs for that same level of care? Okay, so that was it. They just want you to understand why this repeating pattern has been there, whether it's shown up in your career, in your family, in your love life, whatever it is. This is why. to see who you are. And when you do see who you are, you better be looking at yourself with, they just said glee, with a sense of celebration of, yeah, how lucky am I? And gratitude, how lucky am I to be able to walk this planet, that when I am left to my own devices, I have this unending peace and calm, and I'm at one with nature, I'm at one with the world, I'm at one with myself, I'm at one with the divine. I actually feel grounded and solid and peaceful, and knowing that's what I have in my heart. That's what I carry into every exchange or interaction that I have in the world. Aren't I lucky that that's who I am? That is my experience. That is the experience that I share with the world, because I'm so lucky to be gifted with that. That's the essence of what I feel like internally. And I feel like it's been because we've been on this journey over time of realizing who we are, and actually valuing, thank you, Spirit, actually valuing who you are yourself. It's not about engaging in ego and going, well, I'm really good. I'm so good that I couldn't get any better. It's not about that stuff. It's about actually placing value on what you bring to the table. And you can't place value on what you bring to the table if you won't even acknowledge what you bring to the table. You've been in the past so used to operating a certain way that all comes from the heart, that you can't even see how big a gift that is to whoever you're giving that to. And so then how can you place any actual value on it? And then when you don't get that reciprocated, again, it can be business, whatever area of your life, when it's not that same intent or action or fruitfulness is not coming towards you, that causes discord within you. And all the whys start happening. And our thing is to work harder at it, instead of sit back and observe actually what's going on and why. Observe it, feel through it, and go, okay, I'm not going to invest so much into that, or I need to express some things or ask some questions or and see if things can be altered. So then I can continue investing in this. Otherwise, I need to put my energy elsewhere. And Spirit's saying, first of all, put your energy to yourself. So this process with these points of destruction or of great pain and challenges for you has been one of you seeing who you are, what you bring to the table, acknowledging your skill set, your values, your intent, your actions, your vulnerability, whatever it looks like. So you can acknowledge that and then see, what did the other person, or what's on the other, like the people that I'm engaged in this business deal, what are they bringing to the table? Are they bringing what I bring? If they're not bringing exactly the same skill set that I have, what are they filling the gaps with their own skill set or with their own solution, finding skills or whatever it is? Or as soon as there's a hiccup, they just collapse and fall into absolute chaos and drama, and you're getting all these emails and phone calls and whatever else. And you've got to, put more energy and more time, more effort to find all the solutions to calm it all down. But you're actually, at the end of the day, you're not getting the benefits from the situation. Okay, so it's been a process of learning to acknowledge what we bring, to see what it is that we bring to the table in any context, and then to value that, to place value, our own internal value. It's not about gratification from others or validation from others. Placing our own internal value on that. That gives us confidence. It gives us, it's like Spirit saying, recognizing your purity of heart, your pure intent. And when you do that, whoever you come in contact with or whatever you try to do in life, you can start, this is where we're headed, right? If we're not there already, this is where we're headed. You can start to actually recognize, I know what I have here. What does this person, place, environment, agreement, whatever, business situation, what does that carry? Is it in accordance or in discord with who and what I am? And then using your discernment, you choose to stay and work it out or leave. And if you choose to stay and work it out, you need to be seeing, and any good business person would tell you this, if you stay to work it out, you need to see on regular, consistent points over time and short periods of time, as well as long, actual changes and improvements occurring. Because if you can't see that, you're just wasting your time. You're doing a tug of war. You're at stalemate. And you're at stalemate with yourself, and the tug of war is within yourself, because that's what you'll take home at the end of the day. So Spirit's saying, stop pushing, stop forcing, stop trying to fix everything and fix everyone and make everyone understand and whatever else. Just surrender to the process and do your thing. Let it go and do your thing. Shouldn't be that hard. It actually shouldn't be that hard. Okay? There's some things I've said where I don't know 100% why I've said it in a particular way. Spirit gets me to say some things with a certain level of vehemence or certain words or sentences that will strike the minds of certain individuals at different times through the reading, if that makes sense. So, continue to carry your light, continue to shine bright, continue to be your bold and beautiful self, and have confidence in yourself because you see your own value. It's not about pumping yourself up egoistically. It is about recognizing, because you know you have true intent. I'm talking to people who have true intent. They just want the best for everyone involved. And as I said to someone on the phone the other day, if you get one thing out of this conversation or this video, the message is be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself, especially if you are just systematically kind to everything and everyone around you, no matter whether they're kicking and punching and screaming. Especially then, go home and be kind to yourself. And I remember a time within me where being kind to myself was boring. Being kind to myself was not fruitful. It was not... it was like it wasn't what I wanted. I don't need to be kind to myself. I need to be kind to these people so that they can see and understand and da-da-da, and then we can all have the exchange that we want to have. Or something like that. Right? So I don't actually need to be kind to myself. But actually, and this came through the other day, thank you, Spirit, for reminding me, actually, can I say to you, something very powerful is what you do when you're by yourself, the things that you do for yourself when you're by yourself, that there has more power than anything you do out in the world. The way you treat yourself at home, the way you cook your meals, the way that you have a bath or pamper yourself or look after your skin, or the exercise, stretching, yoga, meditation, whatever it is. I'm not trying to prescribe anything to anybody other than self-love, self-kindness, okay? How you live and behave when you're on your own, how you treat yourself when you're on your own, where no one can see it. There's no tangible, material proof of what you're doing, but you're doing it anyway because it feels good. It brings you peace or strength or confidence or whatever it is. That's the biggest thing you can ever do. The most powerful thing you can have. That has more power than whatever you do out in the world. There's a major gift from Spirit. They gave that to me a few times in the last, say, week or so, and I forgot all about it. And then obviously it's become pertinent for me to say it at this moment. So, pretty cool, huh? It's what you do, it's the unseen actions you take when no one's looking. Sounds creepy, doesn't it? Okay. So we're going through a state, your current state is a state of absolute transformation. It is a death and rebirth. It is the death of the old you, the death of your old ways, the death of your old belief systems, the death of the old way you used to perceive yourself, the death of the old way you used to perceive life. And I think, let me know in the comments whether this has happened to you yet, but what's going to happen if it hasn't happened already, you're going to be out in the world and your expectations these days are quite low. If you have low expectations of what the world brings and high expectations of self, you're on the right track. But you're going to actually be surprised by, when you least expect it, little things from people, little behaviors or comments, or not comments necessarily, but little behaviors or little surprising things where you go, I didn't know that person felt that way, or that's unusual behavior, which is very complimentary or very whatever. Like, you will be surprised. There will be little surprises out there, and it's because of the changes within you. Because you don't realize it, but you're actually behaving differently out in the world. And it's all because of the internal work that you've been doing and your shifting of perception of everything. It's like I was going through massive transformation this year, and I spent a lot of time hermetizing at home, and I was very busy as well, but I wasn't taking my energy out into the world. And what was the point of that? The point of that was that I didn't feel like I could feel the emotional and mental, spiritual journey that I was on. And I knew I was moving forward and working through stuff. No question there. But I didn't realize how much I'd changed until I went out into the world. And so if I only went out into the world, say, I don't know, once every 2 or 3 weeks, or just an example, I can't remember. Each time I went out into the world, it's like I'd come back and I'd go, wow, that was an interesting experience. That's different to what I've experienced before. So the changes out in the world reflect the changes that have shifted within us. And so, and also it was, I've never stood up for myself that way. And it could be in a small way that the average person wouldn't even think about, wouldn't even need to consider. They don't see it as standing up for themselves. They're just being outspoken, or they're just requesting, something from a waiter that's, whatever it is. But you notice that, I would never, normally I would tolerate that. Normally I would overlook that. Normally I would not be bothered with that, even though I was bothered. And you found yourself actually speaking up, and with such ease, because you've changed. Just examples, okay? I'm not going to do a full spread or anything because I'm really conscious of the time. I'm just hoping that everybody's getting the message. I hope the sound's better today. I received a comment. Thank you to that person who sent me a comment saying that you had difficulty with the volume. I'm looking into it, and I've tried this today. I don't know whether you can see the wire, but I've tried this today and hope that it's better. But I am looking to improve it again. And so we have the star. So there's celebration coming for you. It's like, these are not obvious things, but it's like a personal win is coming towards you. You're stepping into, because of all this hard work and transformation, you're stepping into a period now. And I mean, this is the Aquarius card, and we've stepped into the age of Aquarius, if you're into all that. You're going to feel like you're becoming a rising star if you're not already feeling it. It's just like, things are going good in my life. Things are going good. I can see I'm working hard at things, or I'm working more cleverly these days, or I'm not investing in things that don't bring me fruit. So everything I'm doing is fruitful. And it doesn't mean there's like big massive results. It just means that you can see progress happening. And if it's not in terms of immediate gratification or satisfaction of getting actual fruit, because fruit takes time, right, to grow. It's from how good it feels to be doing things the new way that you're doing them. How good it feels, that how strong it makes you feel physically or internally. How clear you feel. How good it feels to do things in a way that you're doing them. That you're actually doing more things that you enjoy, even if it looks like work. It's actually really strengthening for you physically, or strengthening your psyche, or whatever it is, your resolve in something. It's working for you, and that's starting to give you a sense of things are on the improve. Yeah, and you are have stepped into this feeling of rising star, and it's not juvenile, but it's a very rejuvenated energy. It's a new energy. It's because we're accepting, we're surrendering to the higher frequency that would have been very uncomfortable, or we would have been unlikely to be able to accept the way that we were. So we had to go through difficulty or turmoil or challenges or whatever, and that process of healing, or just the shock of the situation or whatever it is different for everyone, breaks away the old crusty parts of us that served a purpose and no longer serve us. And so it's kind of like we go through these energetic and physical shifts within ourselves, emotional shifts, psychological shifts, where our belief systems start to change. We start looking at things a different way. We start behaving slightly different, and if it's, that it's going in the right direction if you start feeling better about yourself. If you start placing more importance on how you feel and what you think. All that kind of stuff. If you can see that you're more kind to yourself these days than you ever were, even though you might be working harder, or more cleverly, you might be working more, but it actually doesn't feel like work. Well, you know, it is work. You're tired at the end of the day, whether it's physical or mental, but it doesn't feel taxing. It feels like, glad I got that done. I've had a good day. It's been productive, or da da da. Or part of the being kind to yourself is worked really hard the last 2 days. I'm taking tomorrow off. And it's not that I'm taking tomorrow off. Tomorrow I'm resting. Tomorrow I'm going to go to that place that I enjoy going to. Yeah? I'm going to go to the beach or the park or the whatever it is, like it's to replenish myself. That's an act of kindness. It's a very powerful act of kindness. Yeah? Or if I'm working 5 days a week or 6 days a week, and then I've got 1 or 2 days on the weekend, I could busy myself with activities that will make other people happy. I feel obliged to attend or whatever. Or I could have a me day and go to the beach, go to the park, go on a roller coaster, whatever it is that brings you joy. And that is a massive act of kindness. And then you feel replenished. And so it's this, all the hard work of this transformation that now leaves us open to the vessel is clear and clean. It's not that you were dirty before or blocked. It was just the armor has to be peeled away. It's like the snake can't proceed in life unless it sheds its skin. It outgrows its skin. You've outgrown your armor. It has no purpose anymore. So, yeah, it's like you've been wearing the same suit or the same clothes all the time every day for 10 years, and then they start to fall apart on you. You outgrow them. You have to get into your new outfit. And this is your new outfit. And it's one of the rising star. It's one of getting recognized because you recognize yourself. Finally. And you can still be humble and confident. Confidence, self-confidence does not cancel out humility. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, whatever it is you like to do. I hope that this has served you well, and that it serves you well in the future. And yeah, let me know how we went with the sound, because some people have issue with it, other people don't. So I thank you again, and do keep me posted as to the sound quality and how you find these. Okay, all the best.